Burnley extended their lead at the top of the Championship to 12 points at Millwall last night. A 1-1 draw down at the Den. No wonder they're out on their own playing this high press, pass and move game. Although Millwall, as you might expect, dogged opponents and always in this right up until the very end, and they got their equaliser, and it was well deserved. So well done, Gary Rowett, for that. I spoke afterwards to Burnley boss Vincent Kompany, who assessed the 90 minutes for me.
Lively, and I enjoyed the game. You know, it was again another battle, Luton, Millwall. I thought as a test for my team, I'm really happy with what I saw, and it's always a bit of a pity when you can see the goal late on like this. But I thought that we should have scored more goals, and in the end, individuals' performances were good, and the team was good.
It's a possession-based passing game that you play, but my goodness, you're good at it, aren't you?
Yeah, but if you look at us as well, we press hard, we run hard. The lads are never stopping to put the opposition under pressure. And then the football side, it's just because we think that that's a way for us to create chances. If we thought there was any other way, we'd do it differently. But this is a good way for us. And I think we had 17 or 18 shots today, and we hit the post. But it's a good point for us.
But they're playing, Vincent, the way you want them to play, clearly.
It's never perfect, can always be better. But what they do is they're trying their hardest, and in terms of attitude, they're perfect.
I watched you in the technical area quite a bit. I love the way you stand there. You're so involved, and you applaud them when they're doing what you want. And it's almost as if they're looking for that. They know you're there.
You're part of the team. I think, as a coach, especially when you go to these places, you can be an extra man. You want. We had the away following, but the staff has a role to play as well, and maybe that's what transpires.
Some great youngsters in there, Zaruri and Matson on the left. They do a lot of damage to the opponent, don't they?
Yeah, and it's to name a few. I mean, we had to change a few players today. The fixture list took a toll. But I'm proud. Twiney was good, Matson was good, Zaruri was good. There's so many players with outstanding performances, and we lacked the winner today.
You're 12 points clear. Are you letting them dream about the Premier League? I know we're not into March yet, but what's your view of it?
No, it's not enough. We're 21st in English football. There's a lot of teams who are better than us, and so we have a lot of work to do.
You enjoying it?
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely. And I love it because every single time I can look at the players and say they've tried the hardest. That's the key thing for me. It's not going to be perfect. It's not always going to be the best ever performance. Today was good, but they try so hard, and I can always put my name to that.
What's the toughest thing about management?
That you can't save the ball. You can't do a goal line clearance, or you can't score a goal yourself. The rest of it, it's the best place for me to be outside of being a player.
And talking about being a player, Vincent, I mean, obviously I remember you contributed so much to the English game. And I was thinking the Carabao Cup on Sunday, and I remember you coming back after a tough time with injury. and you skippered City and you won it. And I always remember that day at Wembley. Will that bring happy memories back to you when you watch how Newcastle take on Manchester United on Sunday? Yeah.
I mean, I feel like my career has been one big comeback, and the biggest thing for me was I knew that when I was in the gym, when I was injured, when I was in the pools, when I was doing my work away from the pitches, I always had this image in my head that at the end of the day I'll be lifting a trophy, and I was a little bit. Sometimes you have to be fortunate, but it was the case. I didn't play many games in the Carabao Cup, but I always played the final, and I finished man of the match a couple of times, and a lot of the times I was injured that season. So just gotta believe that your moment will come, and then you've got a chance.
Who do you think will win it on Sunday?
I don't know, but I don't think it would be a surprise that I'd grant it to Newcastle United, of course.
He's not going to select Manchester United as the potential winner, is he? Vincent Kompany speaking to me last night post-match. That really was a great game. Thanks to Millwall for having me, and Billy down there really enjoyed it. Millwall in it right to the very end and got their rewards with that late equaliser from Tom Bradshaw. But if we talk Burnley, Danny, I think you would just love watching the way they go about this. As he said, this high press, pass and move, keep possession. I mean, they were a joy to watch, I have to say. Anas Zaroury, Ian Matson, and when he came on, this young sub, Nathan Tella, they look terrific. And they'll enhance the Premier League because they'll entertain the way they play. You're looking at a version of Manchester City under Pep.
Well, a version of Pep.
Yes.
Yeah. Watching with Vincent. I mean, I was lucky enough to spend a bit of time with him in Doha, and he's always great company because he's captivating. He's got a warmth about him, but he's interesting and he loves his football. And I always love talking to someone who's got so much passion about the game. And he was saying what he just said there to you about how much he was enjoying it, and how I was talking about what he needed in the Championship, and he was talking about that balance between good football but the ability to do the yards and do the running, because the Championship is relentless. And he did say to me, and he mentioned his staff in that interview, didn't he? But he did say to me how much he thought of Craig Bellamy and the job he was doing.
Yeah.
Because he took Bellas with him, and Bellas ain't everyone's cup of tea, but he said to me the players love him, his coaching's great, helps him massively. And of course, Bellas, remembered for all his success in the top division, he was a big reason why Cardiff got out the Championship as well. So he gets that division. And it's a hell of a combination. No wonder they're playing well. Imagine having a confrontation with Bellas and Kompany as your manager and assistant manager when you're going in. You've got to do your job, haven't you?
Absolutely.
But I'm really pleased for him.
He's done this incredible thing, though, Danny. The likes of Josh Brownhill and Ashley Barnes integrate into playing the system that he wants with these youngsters. Keep the ball. But these two, with all due respect to them, the likes of Charlie Taylor as well, they've done it seamlessly.
Well, I used to hear this thing a lot when I first started playing professional football, and you come up against different styles, and you'd hear interviews from managers talking about, I don't have the players to play good football. I can only play with the players I've got. And what it shows you is if you're willing to work with players and give them the freedom to express themselves and play the right way, that most professional footballers can do it. You know, we've seen it over the years. Remember Swansea coming up to the Premier League saying, well, they won't be able to play that way in the Premier League. Yeah. They'll get walked over, but they did. And they stayed up comfortably.
Sure. Danny, why are some footballers made for management? Vincent Kompany is made for this.
I don't think it's something that you learn. I think it's within you. I think leadership is a kind of genetic thing as far as I'm concerned. Even from an early age of playing at 12, 13, 14, you could see the leaders. You could see the people who demand off others and think about things and try and influence others. I think you can become a situational leader at times. You fall into a role. It's called situational leadership, which is getting a bit deep, but you fall into a role and then you thrive with it and go with it and learn on the job and become good. But the majority of the best leaders out there, I think, are just born with that quality. You know, how did John Terry walk into the Chelsea side at such a young age and start dictating and demanding from other people? It was in him. It was always in him. Yeah. Gerrard came into the Liverpool school. You know, you saw with Gerrard, although not as obvious in terms of verbal, but in terms of the way he conducted himself and the presence he had, the no fear of anybody at any level, just this complete belief influenced others around him from the minute he walked on the training pitch. It's just in some people.
But these Pep disciples are doing well. Arteta at Arsenal, Vincent with Burnley. Burnley will enhance the Premier League, of that there's no doubt. Yep. The way they play, you can't take their eyes off them.
Actually look forward. Do you know the worrying thing for Burnley, and always in life, isn't it, is that he's doing that well with such style and such energy.
Yes.
That why wouldn't you want to take him? If you're a big club and you've got a vacancy, why would you not be trying to get him? Now,
for sure,
knowing the type of man he is, I think he'll stay and do the job. I think he'll give them the loyalty they've given him to give him the up. But you never know in football, do you? But he does seem that type.
Oh, very much so. Do you think they're out of sight? 12 points, unassailable?
Well,
it
would take a catastrophic fall away, wouldn't it?
We need the ball to beat them, and you can't get the ball off them.
No.
But that's the thing. Although Millwall were fantastic. And the crowd last night, I've got to say, that crowd at the Den played their part. They do not accept defeat.
I've been there. I've heard them play their parts.
They were magnificent, honestly.
They are a unique bunch.
They are indeed. It was quite a night. And one thing I just want to call him out, Brian Stapleton. Don't think I've forgotten about you, Brian. I walked around, a top scout in the game. He's discovered some great talent.
Yeah.
I walked around from South Bermondsey Station to the Den last night in the company of Nathan Teller's dad and Brian Stapleton. Brian, it was a joy to chat to you. We'll get you on the show actually, mate, because some of the stuff we were talking about was so enlightening, so absorbing. But it was quite a night. Burnley under Kompany, really going places.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.